Welcome to Village Views. My name is John Ward, and I'm here to bring the Scotia views to you from the cafe. Let us first take a rear view at what's been happening around campus. The MMEC was packed on July the 4th as residents and staff took a moment to pray for our nation and a reminder of our history and foundation as the Declaration of Independence and the preamble of the Constitution were read. The Village Voices graced us with their singing of America the Beautiful. The staff came for revenge as they played another resident versus staff family feud. Even though the staff finally won, we had a great time and are itching for a rematch. We are so happy to be able to host the Red Cross for blood drives throughout the year. This time we collected a total of 32 units of blood that can save up to 96 lives. A big thank you to all the volunteers who helped put this event together, and especially for those that took the time to donate. And as a reminder, be sure to send any pictures that you have taken at Scotia events or trips to Sarah and Jake in the Wellness Department, so we can share them with everyone here on Village Views. Throughout the summer, we are asking residents to share some of their favorite summer memories. Cindy Dewey takes us back to her childhood in Korea, where her father was stationed with the military, and they were invited to a Korean home for a traditional dinner.
Hello, I'm the best kept secret here at Scotia, but I have this story to tell. When I was in 7th grade, we were invited to a Korean's home. We'd only been in Korea about a week, and my dad was stationed there in the embassy, so they sat down with us and made sure we understood the rules of decorum. And so we got there, and the first thing we did, we walked in and we were told to take our shoes off, and we were to put on these rubber, they look like little canoes on. And of course, my two brothers and sister and I tried to keep from laughing, so we put those on, and we went to the table to sit down, but we were on the floor. And we just looked at each other. We did everything we could keep from making comments, but my mom was on one side, my dad was on the other, so we were pretty quiet. And so the first dish that was brought in, it was a bowl and it had something floating around in it. Each of us had one. And I was kind of scared. I didn't know what it was. You know, it was sharp looking. And so my mom, being the brave one in the family, she took the first sip of the soup. And she was, oh boy, this is really good. And she said, no, you all can go ahead and start eating. Well, I took one sip and did everything I could to keep from spitting it out. And the Korean lady said, well, do you like my shark soup? And I said, the what soup? And I said, is that what's floating in the bowl? And she said, that's part of its fin. And we cut them up and stuff. So we were making all these faces, and Mom was making the choking sign. And we knew we needed to hush up. So after we got through that, we've been told we only had to have one bite or one sip of whatever. Well, we all took our sip. And we didn't have our little dog there to take what we didn't want to eat. That was a bad thing. So the next thing that came out, my mom again, the Korean hostess put a couple of these things on each of our plates, and my mom took one, and I could hear when she swallowed, it was like gloom, 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 and right off that told me, I'm not going to like this. So Dad looked at us and we knew what that meant, so we all took a bite. And I made the face, but I covered my face, so nobody could see it. And the Korean admiral said, "Don't you love this? Is my favorite snack." And he said, "We don't have it a lot." And so my brother said, "Well, sir, what is it?" And he said, "These are fried slugs." And I went, "Oh no." And so we didn't say anything. We wouldn't look at each other because we knew what would happen. So we were sitting there and we thanked him, and all of a sudden, this Korean admiral let out the loudest belch I've ever heard. He just went, and we were like flabbergasted. And we looked around and looked at Mom and looked at Dad, and it was the loudest, longest belch I've ever heard. And I guess they could tell that we were kind of surprised, because his wife said, "Well, this is the way that we show we really enjoy the dinner, by letting out, a belch like that." Oh, great. Okay, so we left. And anyway, this is not part of it, but it was memorable because we had, the next night we were eating spaghetti or something, and we got done, and of course I had to let out a loud belch, and I went to my haven, my bedroom, where I spent a lot of time, and we were all laughing and stuff, and when I came out, I said, "Well, that's what Admiral Ken did." And Mom said, "Well, we're not Korean, as you know, and we don't go by those kinds of etiquette rules." So that was it.
Thanks for sharing, Cindy. I can see how that would be an unforgettable experience. Looking ahead, each month you get to pick your flick, where residents vote on which movie they want to watch. This month's theme highlights Alfred Hitchcock. So on Tuesday, July the 29th at 6 p.m. in the MMEC, we will watch Rear Window. Come for the movie and stay for the popcorn. The time has come for the event of the month. Be ready to cheer, laugh, and maybe even get a little wet. The date for our cardboard regatta is set. Watch as teams race their hand-built boats made entirely of cardboard and tape as they race down the pool and back in a test of creativity, engineering, and pure determination. Whether you're racing or just spectating, come enjoy the fun on Tuesday, July the 29th at 3 p.m. at the pool. Now be sure to hold your breath as we dive into another segment of Alan's Deep Thoughts.
Alan's Deep Thoughts.
I've always liked Pinocchio because, well, daggone it, he can't say anything untrue. Made me think, what if Pinocchio said, "My nose grows now"? If the statement is true, his nose would not grow, making the statement false. If the statement is false, his nose would grow, making the statement true. Either way, my nose is telling me something is starting to smell bad.
Thanks, Alan. And thank you for joining us for another episode of Village Views. I'll send you out with a few laughs from the staff, and we'll see you next time.
What do you give a thirsty crocodile? Gatorade.
What do you call a goat on a mountain? A hillbilly. Ha ha.
Who is a penguin's favorite relative? Antarctica.